What's happening, everybody? Steve here, Raking Profit, and we are live right now. In today's live stream, I'm going to be sharing 10 tips to grow your Amazon business faster in 2025. So I have a bunch of really great tips that I want to share with you from my own personal experience of selling on Amazon for over 10 years. If you're new to the channel, my name is Steve. I've been selling on Amazon for over 10 years. Last year, I did over $700,000 in sales on Amazon and made $175,000 profit, paid myself $130,000, working very, very part-time hours. And I actually started selling on Amazon, like I said, 10 plus years ago, going to thrift stores, garage sales, yard sales, library sales, doing local pickups. Did that for the first 5, 6, 7 years. And then really the last 3 or 4 years, I've gone very, very heavy into online arbitrage. So my main business model is sourcing items from eBay.com. And I purchased them on eBay. I used to have them shipped to my house. Now I have a prep center, which I'll talk about during the stream. But essentially, I get everything shipped to the prep center. They receive it all. They ship it to FBA on my behalf. And then when it sells, I get paid, and it's just a game of rinsing and repeating. So welcome everybody who is here for the live stream. We're going to get into things momentarily. We're going to get into a bunch of tips to be able to grow your Amazon business. It doesn't matter if you're a bookseller, if you're a thrifter, if you're doing eBay to Amazon, Amazon to Amazon, a lot of these tips that I've created are going to apply to you. And these are really good reminders for folks, you know, if you're kind of maybe in a place in your business where things just aren't growing, right? We've all been there before. We're working hard, you know, we're sourcing, we're listing, we're shipping, we think we're doing everything, but for some reason, the sales just don't seem to be growing. So I'm going to be sharing some things that are going to be able to help you out, hopefully today during the live stream. So again, I'm just going to wait for some folks to jump in to the live stream. And again, this will be available for a replay on the YouTube channel as well. So yeah, what's going on? Farhan, great to see you here. Hello, hello. And I'd love to know down in the comments, how long have you been selling on Amazon for? Are you brand new? Have you been selling for a couple of years? And also let me know, what's your business model on Amazon? I know a lot of folks who follow me have different business models. Some people are thrifting. Some people only go to library sales. There's folks just like me who are doing eBay to Amazon, Amazon to Amazon. Farhan says 1 year retail arbitrage. Awesome. Let me know in the comments where you're going mostly. I mean, you don't have to give away your honey hole secrets, but are you shopping at a lot of, big box stores like Walmart, Targets, or are you attacking, those stores that you have in your area, but maybe other people don't have them in their area, like smaller stores. There's so many different ways to be able to make money on Amazon. It's pretty incredible. So let's get into things. I'm sure YouTube will start posting this out to everybody. So anyone who has questions, feel free to drop any questions or comments down below. I've got the comments up right now. So I'm going to rip through these 10 tips to grow your Amazon business in 2025 faster. And I'll take any questions that pop up on the screen, as we're going through things. What's up, Ben? Good to see you here. Private label, but PPC has gotten too expensive. Interesting. So you have your own products, Ben. That's cool. I don't have much experience with private label. I did try it back in the day, many years ago, but to be honest, I didn't really give it a full effort. And I've always loved thrifting. I've always loved, getting my hands on the products and sourcing them and finding them. I mean, it used to be at thrift stores. Now I go and I hunt them down on eBay from home. But yeah, great to see you here, Ben. And sorry to hear about the PPC getting expensive. It seems like everything on Amazon is getting expensive lately, including the fees, right? That's the trend. All right, let's get into tip number 1 right now to be able to grow your business in 2025. Tip number 1 in no particular order: speed up your listing and shipping process. Now, this is really going to apply to the people who are brand new sellers. But keep in mind, if you want to make more money on Amazon, especially if you're doing like eBay to Amazon or Amazon to Amazon flips or thrifting or library sales, your time is money, right? The more products that you could source, number 1, that's like the most important thing. But number 2, like the more you could source and the more you can list and ship out in the shortest period of time is going to give you more time to be able to go and find more of that inventory, whether it's at a thrift store or a library sale. So take some time to look at your workspace, right? Take a look at where you're listing and shipping your items. Is it clean? Is it organized? Or all your tools within, arm's reach? What's your printer look like? Are you using 30 up Avery labels, which can be really slow? Or do you have, like a nice Rollo printer or a thermal printer, right? I have a thermal printer, makes it a lot easier. It's cheaper. It's much faster. So take a look at that. Take a look at your printer. Do you have poly bags ready? Do you have your boxes set up? Do you have all of your tape? Like, is your workspace nice and clean and organized? And I'm guilty of it. Of sometimes, before I had a prep center, sometimes my workspace would get really unorganized, and it takes me twice as much time to get out a shipment because I didn't have my workspace set up. I let things get out of control. Maybe I had issues on my computer. My computer was slow, right? Maybe I didn't have my Bluetooth scanner, right? I lost my Bluetooth scanner, or I ran out of tape. I wasn't organized, right? I didn't order enough tape in advance. I didn't have boxes ready. I didn't have my poly bags ready, because if you sell like used DVDs and CDs, you might want to polybag them because, the item could open up and, get damaged during shipment. Maybe you don't have your, do not separate stickers or your fragile stickers like organized. So, this is very simple in nature, but take a look at your workspace. For me, if my workspace is clean and organized and I've got all my boxes and all my supplies and equipment nice and handy, it makes life that much easier. And you'll find that not only are you more motivated to sit down and work, but you're able to be able to list and ship and, get everything out the door that much faster. So let me know in the comments down below, is this an area that you feel like you need to be working on in your Amazon business? Do you have a routine for cleaning your workspace when you're done? So the next time you go to sit down to list and ship, you feel good. Or like me, sometimes I would do a really good job and I would clean up, and I would, the next time I go to list and ship, I felt good. Like I was going to sit down, have my coffee, everything was organized. But then there'd be other times where I, go crazy. I ship out 25 boxes, which I used to post on my Instagram before I had a prep center. And then I wouldn't take 20 minutes to clean up. And then the next time I was going to list and ship, I procrastinated because, I made a mess and I didn't clean it up and everything was unorganized. So as silly as this sounds, take control of your workspace. That will definitely help you to grow your business and motivate you to do the things that are going to make you money in your Amazon business, right? If you're, doing like thrifting or E2A or A2A, getting more listings, getting more shipping out the door, right? I've fallen victim to buying, stocking up a bunch of profitable items, sourcing a bunch of items, and then the items just sit, collect dust. My cash flow doesn't do very well because I'm not shipping my items out because my workspace is a mess. So take care of your workspace. And also, like I had mentioned before, take a look at optimizing the little parts of your business, right? Like, for example, maybe you're listing via Amazon Seller Central. A great way to be able to list your items a lot faster is using a third-party software like GoToLister. That's the software that I recommend. There's plenty of other third-party softwares out there as well, but you'll speed up your listing process, at least 20 to 30% out the gate by having, a third-party listing software. Now, this does cost money. So if you're brand new, you might not be at the place where you want to, stack up, paid subscriptions and whatnot, but assess your listing, assess, your shipping. Maybe you're wasting an hour by dropping your boxes off at UPS and driving over and waiting in line. Whereas, you could just use Pirate Ship to schedule a pickup, right? Or schedule a pickup through UPS, which can save you money. Now you might be thinking to yourself, like, saving an hour or half hour, having someone pick it up, how is that going to grow my business? That's going to cost, $4 or $5 for them to pick it up. And it really only cost me 30 minutes. Well, the reality is, yeah, you have 24 hours in the day, but there's only so much time during the day that you're going to be productive. So why not spend an extra 30 minutes sourcing, using Replen Catcher or going to the thrift stores, spending your time, your precious time on the things that are actually going to grow your business, right? Working on your business, on the most important things instead of being stuck in your business. So I know kind of a silly example, but that can save you 30 minutes right there. Hey, what's up, Mr. Sadie? We got Bubba in the house. What's happening? What's up, Amanda? Flipping with Amanda. By the way, guys, Amanda's here, and Amanda and I have some special, exciting news. So next week, March 25th, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, I've actually teamed up with Amanda, who's doing around $10,000 a month on Walmart right now. We've teamed up to host a free Walmart training. So maybe you're getting sick and tired of Amazon, right? And I'm going to make a video soon talking about all the changes with Amazon. There's been a ton of changes. Still a lot of money to be made on Amazon, but I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you Amazon has been a pain in the butt lately, right? Put a 1 in the comments if you agree that Amazon has been a pain in the butt with all the regating, with the fees, with the buy box issues, with the API issues, Section 3s. I mean, it's one thing after another. But you might be thinking, well, Steve, why are you making videos about Amazon if it's such a pain in the butt? Well, because I'm still making really, really good money. But with that being said, now's a better time than ever to diversify your reselling business by selling on other platforms like eBay or maybe Facebook Marketplace or Walmart. So check the link down below. I think it's the second link down below in the description. You can register. It's 100% free. We're going to share with people how to get started, how to sign up, why Walmart is such an interesting and exciting opportunity. And again, Amanda's doing it. Amanda's the expert. She's, done over $80,000 in the last year selling on Walmart after getting suspended on Amazon. So check that out. That will definitely be exciting. Phantom Blue says, I don't even do reselling anymore because of how radically the market has changed in the last 5 years. Still love your stuff though. Sometimes they do relate with what I'm doing now. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. There have been a ton of changes. I mean, a ton of changes. There's been changes on eBay as well, a lot of them. But on Amazon, I mean, yeah, it's not like those glorious days of 2016, 17, 18. I mean, it's definitely changed. It's a jungle out there. But like I said, and I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you, there's still a lot of money to be made. Last year I did 700,000 in sales, 175,000 profit, paid myself $130,000 in my bank account, working really only a couple hours per week because I've got a model that I'm able to outsource to virtual assistants and a prep center doing E2A. So that's why I'm still excited about it. But I agree, Phantom Blue. There's been a lot of nasty changes. Okay, so that's number 1. Let's get into number 2. Reprice your inventory. Duh, right? That's obvious. But I can't tell you how many times I have coaching calls with people who have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 books in their inventory, and they're wondering why their sell-through rate per month is like 8%, 9%, 10%. Well, there's a couple big problems going on. Number 1, a lot of times people are buying books and trying to sell them at inflated buy box prices. And then the market changes and they don't reprice their inventory and it just sits. And then eventually after 6 months, they start getting hit with long-term storage fees, right? That's problem number 1. Number 2 is they're buying inventory that's just really, really slow selling. Very, very slow selling, 2, 3, 4, 5 million rank in books. You can make money flipping those items, but you really have to understand how to read a Keepa chart and define the true intrinsic value. But I mean, overall, if you're not repricing your inventory, whether it's through an automated way of doing it, like Be Cool. I use Be Cool. I set up traditional repricing rules and also automated repricing rules called conditional repricing rules that essentially will change the price for me automatically after a certain period of time. But you can check out a video on YouTube if you want. Rake and Profit, Be Cool repricing strategy. I've got videos kind of breaking down how I do that. But the big, aha right here is if your sell-through rate is really, really slow, of course, repricing isn't going to fix making terrible buys, but it will get your inventory to move. And, I remember when I first signed up for Be Cool, I had my best month because it moved so much of my inventory. And every single time, like even before I was using Be Cool, and Be Cool is just one repricer. I'm not here to say, hey, you got to get Be Cool. Maybe you want to get Reprice It or Aura. There's a whole bunch of different ones. NeuroPrice, I've been hearing good things about. Even the Amazon free repricer, I've heard good things from Victor and Joji talking about that. But I'll tell you right now, on Amazon, making sure your items are priced competitively is going to help your items sell. Now, there's a misconception thinking you have to be the lowest price in order to sell your items. That's not true. But if you're a new seller and you're not getting the buy box because the first couple months, up to 6 months, you might not be eligible to get the buy box. There's no rhyme or reason in terms of when Amazon gives it to you. Typically, it depends upon your metrics and your sales volume. But especially if you're not winning the buy box and you're not eligible, you really have to price competitively. But I'll tell you right now, if you set up, a repricer and you take the time to learn how to use it, it's going to make a big, big difference in your business. It's going to improve your cash flow. Items are going to sell faster. You're going to have more money coming into your bank to not only pay yourself, but to also spend on buying more inventory, because this is a capital, intensive business, right? Like the more money you spend, the more you buy, the more you send and ship and list and get to FBA or merchant fulfill yourself, right? The more you get available for people to buy, that's the value. That's how you make money. So I can't say it enough. Set up either a manual repricing strategy, whether you go through Amazon Seller Central and do it once a week, or even if it's once a month, you've got to make sure that you're repricing your inventory. Like I said, I see so many people, they just don't reprice. And then their sell-through rate is just absolute garbage. So there's a lot to unpack right there. That's kind of a loaded response. But repricing your inventory, very, very important. Phantom Blue says, I blame corporate thrift stores for killing my interest. I mean, yeah, the thrift stores are crazy. The prices at the thrift stores have just gone through the roof. I mean, it is what it is, right? That's why I moved to eBay to Amazon, brother, because I was like, you know what? I'm spending all this time at thrift stores. There's all this competition. I'm making nickels and dimes. I'd rather just use my capital, buy all the inventory on eBay, have it shipped directly to my house. And even though I have to spend $15 to sell an item for 40, I could do it from home. I could be drinking a glass of wine. I could be chilling. I could outsource it to a virtual assistant. And in the last 3 years, three to 4 years, I've done almost $2 million on Amazon, literally buying from eBay and flipping on Amazon. So it feels good not to put the money into thrift stores' bank accounts. I'll tell you right now, yes, I know some thrift stores do good, but other ones don't, like Savers. I don't know if you guys have a Savers in your area, but yeah, dude, it's the reality. I'm not here to sugarcoat things, but Amanda says, I made the same mistake. Right, Steve? Are you talking about not repricing your inventory? That was probably I think that was back in the day when we first started working together. All right, let's get into tip number 3. And if you guys are enjoying this video, smash that like button. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask away. Got a nice cold brew. Let me know in the comments as well. Are you guys big into drinking hot coffee or cold brew? I actually made the switch about 2 weeks ago. I decided to stop using K-Cups because I did a whole bunch of research. I was feeling very anxious and I kind of felt like over acidic and it just felt like crap every time I drank K-Cup coffee. And I guess there's a lot of toxins and microplastics that come out of it. And it's probably a poor quality of coffee, but I don't know. Obviously we're talking Amazon right now, but I switched over to cold brew and I started putting some MCT oil in this because my doctor said it'll slow down the absorption of caffeine because I'm just prone to getting anxious and over the top. And it's been great. Just cold, making my own cold brew. I got a 50-ounce French press. I put in coffee, put in water, let it sit overnight, press it, and it's so good. It is so good. All right, number 3, experiment with other sourcing methods. Phantom Blue was talking about how, he blames corporate thrift stores for killing the interest, raising the prices, selling online, just the nasty things that a lot of these thrift stores do. I get it. I took things into my own hands and I said, you want to know what? Thrift stores, I'm going to go find this stuff on my own. I'm going to put the money in the bank accounts of small e-commerce sellers. You know what I love about flipping items from eBay to Amazon? I'm literally paying eBay sellers. eBay sellers should love me. I spent $300,000, actually a little more than $300,000 last year on eBay alone. That went in the pockets of small business owners. That feels great. Let me know in the comments, would you rather give your money to an eBay seller or give it to a thrift store? I know there's some good thrift stores, but I'd rather give it to eBay sellers. But experiment with sourcing. If you're having a tough time finding enough inventory, experiment sourcing using Replen Catcher. Replen Catcher is a tool that I developed that will literally bring you hundreds of deals that you can source on eBay to flip on Amazon. Another great tool, BookMine, developed by my good friends Joji Davenport and Victor Galejos. Another great software that you could use to find books 100% from home. Put the money in small businesses, like actual small sellers instead of the thrift stores. Get the inventory to come directly to your house. You can cherry pick it. You can use Keep It to really, run the numbers and make sure it's an item that's going to sell quickly. On eBay, one thing I love about sourcing on eBay is you don't have to be pulling your hair out and going crazy, being the first person to source an item, thinking like, oh my God, all the deals are going to be gone so quick. Why? Because on eBay, you can make best offers. I'm talking DVDs. I'm talking books. I'm talking electronics. I'm talking tools. I'm talking board games. I'm talking toys and action figures. I got a video that I did. I did a live stream on Zoom for Reselling Freedom and some folks in my groups yesterday, sharing 10 items I flipped from eBay to Amazon. I'm going to repost it on YouTube in the next couple of days, but you guys should check out some of these items that I'm flipping, right? It's insane. Some of these deals that you can flip. Yeah. I mean, there's risks involved, but I've been doing this for 4 years and there's a reason I'm still standing after 4 years because I've got a system and I've got things that I do to mitigate the risk. Doesn't mean I'm going to be safe forever, but I do my best. M. Stewart says, I like drip, but cold coffee with blueberry is so good. Ooh, that sounds good. What did you say you add to it? MCT oil. MCT oil. Yeah, be careful though. You put too much in it, it's going to rip up your stomach. But I feel like I've had so much more brain clarity and better cognitive functions, just starting to drink cold brew and adding MCT oil. Maybe it's all placebo effect. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. All right. Number 4, start flipping new condition items. I know a lot of booksellers, obviously with books, you don't want to sell new just because the publishers don't like that. And you're going to be asking for problems. So I don't ever sell new books. And I don't sell any new items where the brand's on the listing, or if it looks like there's map pricing and there's only wholesalers on it. I don't mess with those really fast selling items, just because you're going to get IP complaints and you're going to deal with issues and you're going to get letters in the mail from, lawyers representing brands threatening to sue you. I mean, I've dealt with it all. But new DVDs, especially ranked between 30 to 80,000. Oh, all day long. New toys, new board games, new video games, absolutely all day long. Did you guys know that last year, out of the 6,300 items I flipped for $707,000, that was about 99% new. I mostly sell new. I've been selling new for over 4 years. I mean, the first year I did E2A, I sold, I think it was 7,000 or 8,000 new DVDs from eBay onto Amazon. And over the years, that's gone down because I've diversified. Right now, probably toys and maybe electronics and office supplies are my top categories. And then following it would be, DVDs and CDs and some books from time to time, but really I'm focused on new with my prep center. But yeah, new condition items. I mean, you guys saw what happened recently. If you didn't hear, Amazon literally was giving priority to merchants for the used buy box, and the used sales for FBA sellers got destroyed. Everything is back to normal right now, but it looks like Amazon's testing out some algorithmic changes or whatnot. But my sales weren't affected at all because I was selling new. Now, it doesn't mean they're not going to do something in the future with new, but I'll tell you, new items sell faster. I was just talking to my mom about this the other day. I was asking her, how's your book sales? How's your Amazon business? She says, the book sales are okay. They're slow. She doesn't have a huge inventory anymore like she used to as she gets a little bit older, and she's having trouble kind of competing at the thrift stores and whatnot. There's more competition. The prices are higher. But she says, Steven, she goes, those new DVDs that I'm buying from eBay to Amazon, and some of them most of them I'm giving to her, to be honest with you right now, but she's going to be getting into it more. But I give her a lot of DVDs that I source and drop ship them to her to help her out. She goes, those DVDs are selling quick. And I'm telling you, you source DVDs between 30 to 80,000 rank. Man, those things fly off the shelf. They really, really do. And these are DVDs where you're not going to have Amazon on the listing. There's not going to be a ton of competitors, maybe 4 to 7 competitors on the listing. You don't even have to be the lowest price. The buy box is going to rotate. I love flipping new. I think right now, especially if you're a bookseller and you want to be able to grow your business in 2025, man, get on Replen Catcher. Start sourcing DVDs from eBay. And you don't have to sit on the live stream refreshing like a crackhead all day long trying to get the newest deal. Just go find deals that are at 20% ROI, make a best offer. So say, for example, there's a DVD that's selling for 40 and right now it's 25, make a best offer for 15. I source those deals all day long. I turn 20% ROIs into 50%. When I say it's actually not even me. It's Jane and Gia. You guys know Jane and Gia. Those are my two virtual assistants who source for me full time. But yeah, Phantom Blue says, do you make ebooks or are you focusing on courses now? Currently trying to do a shotgun sales funnel strategy with omni-level multi-channel marketing. So I haven't done ebooks in many, many years. I do have an eBay to Amazon masterclass, but to be honest with you, I don't really promote it too much. You know, I do have some funnels and whatnot and freebies that I give away and people get in my email list. And from time to time, like I have automations that promote it, but I'm really focused on my software right now. That's kind of been my big focus in terms of like marketing, like outside of e-commerce. I have a software called Replen Catcher that I built for myself 2 years ago, released it 6 months ago. But I use ClickFunnels. To be honest, I haven't been super duper focused on the ebooks and courses and all that. I've been more or less focused on, growing my Amazon business and building software to help me in my business and also, sharing it with other people. But yeah, good luck with that. Does your prep center ever reject any new items as counterfeit? Not really. And the reason is Optimus FBA is because I have very, very strict guidelines for how my team sources. And when my team sources, we have a manager that goes in and checks everything that we purchase, especially DVDs, and double checks that, there's not listings with multiple quantities. It's not under 20,000 rank, that the eBay seller store doesn't have a bunch of fake stuff in it. They double check the pictures. We have a whole, step-by-step SOP, standard operating procedure. But to be honest with you, I'm very, very disconnected to the prep center nowadays. I'm very disconnected to the communication between, my team and the prep center. If there are ever any issues or anything, they do bring it up to me, but I haven't heard of any or any situations where they've had to reject anything. Because when we're buying on eBay, we see all the pictures, so on and so forth. And we're not just looking at the pictures, we're looking at the data. We're looking at the sales rank. We're looking at the eBay seller store and feedback and whatnot. So, but I could definitely reach out to them. All right, let's keep moving. So out of the 10 tips, we talked about speeding up your listing process and your shipping process, maybe looking into GoToLister, optimizing your printers, maybe looking into a Dymo or a Rollo printer. I use a Rollo printer. Setting up a repricing strategy, experimenting with eBay to Amazon, Amazon to Amazon flips, looking into BookMine, sourcing software if you want to flip books from Amazon to Amazon, or if you want to start flipping anything from eBay to Amazon, that's more than books, that's any category. Replen Catcher, we talked about considering adding new condition items into your business model. If you're only selling used, new sells so much faster. They're easier to obviously inspect. They're easier to list and ship. Of course, there's nuance to that that we could get into more down the road. If you guys have any questions about selling new items, if you have concerns about, IP complaints or getting in trouble with Amazon, if you have questions, ask away. There's no questions that are, that I won't answer. I'm an open book. Raise your, number 5, raise your average selling price. Let me know in the comments down below, what is your average selling price? And the way you get to that is you take a look at your total gross sales. So, for example, in the last 12 months, I've sold, a little less than 700,000. It was over that for 2024, but my sales are a little slow, January, February. So I'm sure they'll pick up, but let's just say I'm at 700,000 in the last 12 months. And let's just say I sold 6,000 items. I would take 700,000 divided by 6,000, and that would be my average selling price per item. For me, my average selling price is over $100. I only flip high ticket items right now. What's up, Jesse? Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I'm putting in that work at the gym, man. I really am. Down 45 pounds in the last 15 months. So definitely appreciate that. But one of the reasons why I say, and this is what I did from 2022 to 2025, one of the reasons I say raise your average selling price is because you can literally make the same amount of money, if not more money, doing way less work. So, I remember in 2021 or 2022, one of those years, I sold over 12,000 items. Okay. And I did like $300,000 in sales. Well, guess what? In 2024, I sold more than double that, and I sold half the volume. I sold around 6,300 items in 2024 for over 700,000. So what I did is I essentially raised my average selling price from $35, $36 in 2021, 2022 to $111 in 2024. So the reason why for me I was able to grow my business is because instead of spending so much time and resources having to buy twice the volume, reprice twice the volume, fix high pricing errors of twice the volume, fix stranded inventory of twice the volume, just handle double the volume, right? Whether it's coming to your house, listing and shipping, or managing that with a prep center, by being able to purchase way less inventory, but sell it for a higher ticket. You're able to make, as long as you have good ROI and profit, you're able to make the same, if not more money doing less work. Now you might be thinking to yourself, okay, Steve, well, obviously, right? I was watching a TikTok video the other day and they were making fun of like gurus. And this guy was like making like a funny video saying the way to get rich is to make money. What you do is you make money and you just focus on making more and more money and you get rich. And it was like, I'm not able to say it in a funny way, but it's like, duh, obviously. But the thing is, once you start moving away from thrifting and library sales, and you start looking into like Amazon to Amazon flips with BookMine or eBay to Amazon flips with Replen Catcher, you're not dealing with just a small marketplace of, your 10, 20 libraries in your area or your 10 or 20 thrift stores in your area. You're dealing with hundreds of thousands of millions of products. So just imagine how many items fall through the cracks at a thrift store that you can scoop up and flip, right? There's a lot, but it's still limited and there's a bunch of competition. Imagine how many items fall through the cracks through merchants on Amazon or eBay sellers. There's hundreds of thousands of millions. So you can really target the items that you want to flip, and you can source items that sell for a lot more money. Now, yes, you are going to have to spend up and spend more money and spend more capital, right? So now it's not a game of spending all of your time at the thrift store. It's a game of how much money can you spend and leverage your capital. So obviously it requires, more money, but raise your ASP however you could do it. Or if you can't source from eBay to Amazon or Amazon to Amazon, get pickier at the thrift store. Get pickier. Instead of picking up $12 books, raise the bar to 15 to 17 to 18. Force yourself to only deal with the cream of the crop, with items that are going to make at least $6, $7 profit, because essentially when you're dealing with items that are only making $1 or $2 or $3, you are literally just holding your business down because you only have so much time you could work on your business. If you're spending all your time dealing with things that are only going to make you 15, $20 an hour, that's your income times 40, 50, 60 hours a week. So there's a lot to unpack, definitely a loaded response as well. But if you can, that was a big, big game changer for me. Clint says, what's up, Steve? Loving the Replen Catcher, man. It's helping me crush new DVD sales. Clint, awesome to see you here. I see you, man. I see you doing your thing with the DVDs. Get after it, man. Jesse with Thrift School. If you guys aren't following Thrift School, if you guys want to know what to go and buy and flip and resell at the thrift stores, go check him out. He's maybe like 45 minutes or an hour from me over here in Connecticut. He's always at Red, White, and Blue. Red, White, and Blue, baby. You know what's going on over there. That's like one of the best thrift stores in the country, I feel. We're so lucky to have that here. Phantom says, maybe I could actually flip eBay books and products onto Amazon that are related to my niche. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You absolutely can. Got my gears turning. I'm probably going to jump into this eBay flipping system. Yeah, I mean, check out my YouTube channel, right? You don't have to join my masterclass or anything. I have a lot of videos. Check out replencatcher.com. It's a software that will help you to find items to flip from eBay to Amazon. But check out my channel. I got a lot of free videos that kind of break it all down. Brandon says minimum of $20 items. I love it. Amir says $15 ASP. What's your ASP, Jesse? What's your typical ASP? I know yours might be a little bit lower sometimes just because I know you're doing a lot of pallets and stuff from time to time. Amir says, do you prep everything yourself or outsource to a prep center? So I was prepping everything myself up until about 14, 15 months ago. And then I hired Little Owl Prep. Big shout out to Frank. He's the owner of the company out of Ohio. So I became tax exempt in Ohio. and we purchase all of our items on eBay. They get drop shipped to Little Owl Prep. Once they get enough inventory to make a shipment, they log in through Amazon Seller Central, build a shipment, ship it on my behalf. I get charged through Amazon Seller Central. It sells. Amazon FBA picks it, packs it, ships it. I get paid, rinse and repeat. Use Replen Catcher to replenish our inventory. So, I mean, that's pretty much from a 30,000 foot overview, the name of the game with my business that I'm running on Amazon. Okay, let's keep going. Number 6, get ungated in more categories and brands. So there's a couple ways to do this. Number 1, if you're restricted on a particular brand and you've been selling for a while, try to get approved. Sometimes you just have to click apply to sell and it'll auto ungate you. Some brands, I did it today because we're actually, so Replen Catcher, exciting news. We are maybe a week and a half out from integrating with Amazon. So now Replen Catcher and Amazon are going to be integrated. So it knows all of your items that you're not able to sell. And I was playing around beta testing it today, and some of these items I was restricted on, I was clicking apply to sell and boom, ungated, boom, ungated, boom, ungated. So if you can't sell an item, apply to sell it and see if you can sell it. Sometimes you'll be surprised. I mean, I got to set up a system with my team to do that because we're probably missing out on a ton of eBay to Amazon deals by not doing that. Also, consider investing money into, getting ungated. I know with Amazon now, it's kind of a pain in the ass. They're requiring 100, 300 quantity to get ungated. I don't know if that applies for everything. I'm curious. Has anybody tried to get ungated for DVDs recently? Are they requiring 10 of a DVD, or if they up that to 100 for everything? I'm curious if someone could help me out. Yeah, Amir. I mean, I'm not even kidding when I say this, and it literally sounds like a late night infomercial when I say this. But I can tell you guys right now, I'm not trying to sell you anything in this video. I'm just sharing what I'm doing. I literally do almost nothing in my business right now. I made over $100,000 last year. I did $130,000 at the end of the day, profit in my pocket. I did $175,000, but I'm talking like cash flow after paying my team, after fees, expenses, prep center, everything, like after reinvesting back into the business, after everything. I paid myself over $100,000 from my business. And I'm not even kidding when I say this. I'm going to sound like such a douchebag, but I'm just going to say it. There were some months I might have worked a couple hours, maybe 2. There were some weeks that went on for 5, 6, 7 weeks where I literally didn't do anything. I just trusted my team. I just trusted them. And all I would do is look at my spreadsheets and I would look at these numbers that are called KPIs, key performance indicators. The big KPI that I was looking at was, how was I cash flowing month to month? There were months where I was making $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $15,000. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to let the team do their thing. And then there were some months where there were struggles, return rates were higher. There were some issues and I have to come in and spend some time. But I have 2 virtual assistants, Jane and Gia, who do all my sourcing for me via Replen Catcher. They work 40 hours a week each. They're in the Philippines. They make about $4 an hour plus incentives. In the Philippines, which, believe it or not, in the Philippines, if you go get a job at like a BP company, you can be getting $2 an hour, $2.50. So after incentives and 13th month pay and different things, they're probably making $7, $6, $7, $8 an hour, right? Which is a really good wage in the Philippines, even though you probably think like, oh, that's a dirtbag income, but it's a really good, that's what they ask for much lower. They've actually increased quite a bit over the years. Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's kind of like a 4-hour work week. But, the thing with Amazon is you don't know if this ship's going to go down at any time. Let's just be honest with all the Section 3s and IP complaints and issues. So I'm just ripping this until the wheels fall off. I'm not trying to be a fool. I'm not trying to go and, there's some people who like do eBay to Amazon and they mess with like the most riskiest items, right? They mess with items that, or selling 500 times a month. The brand's on the listing. It's like a PL product, but hey, they've been ripping it for 4 months and they've made 25 grand doing it. You're just asking to get kicked off. I don't F around with items like that. The average item that I flip is like 1 to 10 times per month in terms of sales. Yeah, there's some electronics and stuff that maybe have 20, 30, 40 sales per month. But the only reason I'm selling them is there's no signs of, IP complaints, map pricing, brand on the listing. I'm not getting letters. I don't feel threatened on it. There's other people on the listing. It's slower selling compared to maybe like other items in their brand that are really popular. The brand doesn't really care about it. It's discontinued. So hopefully that adds a little bit of context, but getting gated in more categories, consider investing in more categories so you can sell more products. Number 7, consider getting a prep center. We've been talking a little bit about this. I have a Little Owl Prep in Ohio. I was scared to get a prep center 14, 15 months ago. I was having all my inventory from eBay come to my house. If you guys followed me on Instagram, you used to see 40, 50, 60 packages per day showing up on my steps. My neighbors probably thought I was a drug dealer, or they thought we had some type of like shopping issue. Just imagine that. Your next door neighbor is getting 40 to 50 boxes, packages showing up on their doorstep every single day. I'm surprised someone didn't rob me. I'm surprised at one point or another, you see those videos online where, people show up and they steal all the boxes off, like 1 or 2 boxes off the doorstep. I'm surprised I never got robbed. Honestly, that's shocking to me. I am very, very surprised. But getting a prep center is a game changer. It's like $1.50 per item, but I never touch the products anymore. I don't see them. I don't have to unbox them. I don't have to throw away cardboard. I don't have to list them. I don't have to ship them. Little Owl Prep has an incredible software where essentially every time we buy an item on eBay, we just go in, we put in the ASIN, the condition, the buy cost, what's going to be coming. And then once the items get delivered to the prep center, they scan the barcode and it automatically updates the status of the item from planned inventory to received. So we could transparently see that. And then you could see them build the shipment. I mean, it is, I'll never go back again. Jesse says, thinking of that, just got overnighted from ThinkFun Ravensburger to remove all my products. Keep an eye out for that. I have this one ThinkFun item that I flip all the time from eBay to Amazon. I don't know if I flip a ton of Ravensburger, but yeah, I mean, it's up to you if you want to stop selling it. Usually those letters never amount to anything. But if I do get overnighted, that's when I get a little bit worried. If they send, like the FedEx overnight letters threatening you, gets me a little worried. So yeah, it's probably a good idea to stop selling it. Amir says, that's kind of where I'm at now. I prep for my garage and scared to get a prep center because no clue how margins will be affected. Well, I mean, you got to think of it this way. You can calculate how much it's going to cost you. If you're selling 1,000 items per month, just multiply that by $1.50. So it's going to cost you $1,500 extra to, have somebody prep it. But keep in mind, you're not going to have to receive those items. You're not going to have to list them. You're not going to have to ship them. Calculate, Amir, how many hours per week you're having to spend or per month, and then calculate the cost of it and divide it and ask yourself, if this is something that's costing me, $40 an hour of my time and I can outsource it for much cheaper, why would you not outsource it? Then you have that extra time to be able to grow your business or enjoy yourself, go on bike rides, do whatever you want to do, enjoy your life. So I could make a lot more money in my business if I didn't have virtual assistants, if I didn't have a prep center, if I didn't have someone fixing my stranded inventory, if I didn't have somebody repricing. I could probably make an extra $50,000 a year, but then I'd have no life. Now I am privileged to have made a good amount of money over the last 10 to 12 years. So I have capital to deploy to be able to spend on all these items on eBay, to be able to pay a team, to be able to have income coming in through affiliate marketing and software and YouTube and different things. So I am privileged in a sense, and it's not a apple to apple comparison if you only have that as an income stream, right? I'm privileged in certain areas, but I'm just being 100% transparent. I'm willing to spend that money to buy back my time, essentially. Hey, that's a great book, Dan Martell, Buy Back Your Time. If you haven't read that on Amazon, Buy Back Your Time, Dan Martell, bestseller, incredible, good YouTube channel as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, I knew you'd keep selling it, Jesse. Okay, number 8, know your numbers. Who here knows their numbers? Who here knows like what you're cash flowing month to month in your business? Most people don't. I have multiple bookkeepers in my business. I have one of them that deal with my Amazon books specifically, but then, she also is running QuickBooks in the background as well, working with my CPA and whatnot. But it's very important to know your numbers. a lot of people are just kind of running their business based upon how much money's in their bank account. And I'm not going to dive into this too much right now because it's a really big topic, but you should at the very least generate a cash flow statement every single month and know how much money are you spending, how much money are you actually making. Are you in the green or are you in the red? So do some research on how to create a cash flow statement. That's very important. But one of the best investments that I ever made in my business was hiring somebody. Actually, big shout out to Avery of Go-To-Lister, Romer the Romer. Back when we were living with each other in Miami back in 2020, he actually hired a really, really talented bookkeeper from the Philippines. And we've both been working with her ever since. We've recommended her to quite a few sellers. Unfortunately, we can't recommend her anymore because she's completely just jam-packed. And sometimes I think maybe we shouldn't have recommended her because she's so good. And now sometimes it's a little harder to get a hold of her, but she's doing fantastic. Game changer. Make sure you know your numbers. Number 9, consider hiring a virtual assistant. I was watching a Gary Vaynerchuk video the other day, Gary V, and somebody asked him, what's the best way to be able to grow my business? What's the number one thing I can do? He says, hire people. If you're making $10,000 a month right now, make $7,000, pay someone $3,000 to buy back your time. So then you can have more time to, strategically grow your business or to spend time on things that are going to be able to make you more money in your business, right? So consider hiring a virtual assistant. I've got 4. I hired them all using a website called Onlinejobs.PH, which is a Filipino-based website where you can essentially put out a job post. A bunch of people from the Philippines apply, and then you could hire somebody. And it's a monthly subscription, but they don't they're just essentially like a place for you to find someone. You could cancel it whenever you want once you hire the person. You don't have to pay the company like a monthly retainer or anything like that. And then last but not least, number 10, set goals in your business. I talk about this all the time, but if you're a thrifter, set up a routine for how often you thrift. Set up a day where you list and ship all of your items. Set up a schedule maybe once per week when you reprice your inventory, or maybe set up a day every week where you focus 2 hours on growing your business. Maybe it's learning a new software. Maybe it's setting up a system. Maybe it's hiring a virtual assistant. Maybe it's something that, isn't just like you being stuck in the business, but something you work on in your business that's really going to make a big change, right? Learning how to buy pallets, learning how to do eBay to Amazon, maybe getting a lawyer on retainer if you're concerned. Jeff Schick, good lawyer that people recommend dealing with IP complaints, so on and so forth. But set goals, and not just like result goals. Like I want to make $10,000 a month, but really break down your numbers. Like if you need, how many items do you need to list? How many items do you need to ship? What needs to be your ASP? Set goal-oriented outcome goals, essentially like action goals that are going to get you to your end result, right? So, set up goals. And I'm curious, do you guys have goals for the week for when you go list items or ship items, or do you have goals for how many times per week you go out, or how many items you want to source at the thrift store, or how much time you spend per week sourcing? I would love to know down below. Hey, Phantom Blue, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Renell says, have you vacationed in the Philippines? You should go at some point. I want to. It's on the bucket list. I really, really want to go to the Philippines sometime. So definitely in the future. All right, guys. Well, that is the 10 tips to be able to grow your business on Amazon in 2025. Number 1, speed up your listing shipping process. Consider looking into Go-To-Lister. Number 2, reprice your inventory, whether it's manually repricing or get yourself a repricer like Be Cool or Reprice It. Number 3, experiment with other sourcing methods like eBay to Amazon, Amazon to Amazon. Look into replencatcher.com. I'll put a link down below, 14-day free trial. Start sourcing DVDs. Start sourcing books and board games and toys 100% from home. Number 4, experiment with new condition items. If you're only selling used, wait until you start flipping new DVDs as an example. Those things fly off the shelf. I love flipping new. That's pretty much all I flip. Number 5, find ways to raise your average selling price. Cherry picking from eBay to Amazon and from Amazon to Amazon is a great method, but get a little bit pickier in your business. Value your time. Number 6, get ungated. go in and try to manually get ungated, auto ungated for some products that are restricted, or invest money into getting ungated into new brands and categories that, pose opportunities for you. Number 7, consider getting a prep center to buy back your time. Consider getting a virtual assistant. Number 9, to buy back your time. Consider hiring a virtual assistant to do your bookkeeping. Onlinejobs.PH is a great resource. And then last but not least, set goals in your business. So hopefully these tips help you guys out. Appreciate you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Smash that like button. Bye.